Today I'm going to do Preachers of LA Season 2, Episode 1. It was a pretty cool episode, and it looked like it's going to be a pretty cool season. For everybody that's new to my channel and didn't see my reviews last season, I hold no punches. I don't care if they are men of God, women of God. I hold no punches. I might cuss a little bit, try not to, but hey, I just give my raw opinion on what's going on with this show. Everybody come back. Bishop Ron Gibson and his wife, Livette, Bishop Noel Jones and Sister Loretta, Dietrich and First Lady Dominique, Pastor Jay and his wife Christy, I think that's her name, and who else? Oh, Pastor McClendon and his wife. I don't remember her name whatsoever. But yeah, this was a cool. Oh, and Pastor Wayne Chaney and his wife, First Lady Maisha. So it starts off with Dietrich and Dominique, and they're walking down the street. She's like 100 months pregnant, because I don't know if she was 9 or 10, but she was close to her due date. So they're just walking and talking and stuff like that, and he was talking about how they really haven't celebrated their marriage because she was pregnant when they had the actual wedding. So they wasn't able to just go off somewhere and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sitting there like, why not? It was the beginning of her pregnancy. Wasn't gonna hurt nothing. But okay, whatever. So then they show her like the next day going to the hospital, having a C-section. He was there with her. I thought it was cool. Then fast forward 2 months later, and then you start seeing all of the other different pastors. Pastor Noel Jones, he just coming from a town from touring all over the damn world. And he goes sees Loretta, and they're still friends, but they're closer than ever. I feel some kind of way about that, so check out my season 1 review. But I'm going to talk about it even in this one. I still feel some kind of way. But anyway, he's talking about how he want to have an event with all the pastors, and he's going to get with them. And so Loretta tells them that she's invited to a sip and see with First Lady Dominique, the baby. And that's a new version of baby shower without the games and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, okay. So then you had Dietrich and Dominique, and his mom came to town. And they were talking about the baby, and we found the baby name is Denver Monroe Hatton. Cute baby, cute baby. So then they talk about this, they tell the mama about the sip and see and stuff like that. And then Dietrich tells his mom that she's going to have to talk with Faye, because Faye feels some kind of way about the way she treated Dominique in the first season and in the beginning of part of their relationship. So she was cool with that. She like, I ain't scared. Whatever, I'll talk to her, if that's what we gotta do. So that was cool. Anyway, Pastor Jay and his wife, they're remodeling their house, and they talk about the sip and see invitation. He tells her about the invitation he got with with Bishop Jones and stuff like that, and how he feels some kind of way about the whole baby and stuff like that. So he feel like his integrity was jeopardized with Dietrich not telling him that old girl was pregnant. And I got exactly what he was saying. But we'll get on, move on, because we can still bring that topic up. Okay. So then Bishop Gibson and his wife is at the house, and he's reading his Bible, getting ready to go to the church, I guess. And they're talking about the event that Bishop wanted to have, and everybody telling him about the damn invitation, and the invitation with the sip and see, and the invitation with Pastor Jones. Even Pastor Wayne and his wife, when he was in the bed, he had just came from Israel and stuff like that. So everybody talking about that. And then when Bishop was talking to Livette, he was telling her how Loretta can be, you know, confrontational basically. And he was telling her like, don't engage in that. If that arises, just leave. And she was like, I'm from Compton, I know how to handle her. Okay, you ain't okay. Cause we'll move on. Cause I'm sorry, it just don't look like Sister Levette, First Lady Levette is really about that Compton life. So stop, just because you're from Compton don't mean you know how to get hood. No. And you've been out of Compton a long time. Stop that. Anyway, we got Bishop. Is he a bishop? Pastor? I don't know. McClendon and his wife. And he's saying how he can't go to Bishop Jones' event because he's booked. Basically. Then you have all the preachers come to Bishop Jones's house, and things really turned left. You could tell all these dudes still feel some kind of way about each other because they ain't seen the season 1 thing, you know, air. So they all feel some kind of way about each other without really saying it. So they start talking about the event and how he said he want to do something where it's, you know, in the community, and, you know, just bring back to their own community since they travel everywhere else. So everybody was cool with that. Bishop Ron brought up doing a gang event or something, and they all was looking like, what the hell? But Dietrich was like, you the only one can do that. We'll probably get shot. And I'm sitting there like, if you supposed to be protected by God, why are you so worried about helping out gang members in inner city? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get that. Ain't that what you call here to do? Is to help gang members turn their life around. Why would you be scared to go and do that? I don't know. But they start asking him about the gang because he was even, you know, Bishop was like, you don't have to be worried. I'm scared to do that. Bring your heat like I'll bring mine. Then he put up his shirt and he got his heat. You know, the cameras didn't show it, but we know that he brought his heat. And I'm sitting there like, okay, do you bring your heat every time you leave Riverside to come to LA? Because his church is like on the border of like Fontana, Riverside area. So I'm like, and so they don't get that, what they get in LA. So do you bring your gun every time you go to LA? Is that what you're saying? Because I don't see the reason of him having to carry his gun to Bishop Noel Jones's house. I didn't get that. So anyway, they all talking or whatever, and they're talking about the gang event, and then they started talking about, it went retarded, because it starts saying, well, I can give back more than you. Bishop Jones and Bishop Gibson was going back and forth, and I felt some kind of way of Bishop Jones saying that too, because he said, what he said was, I give more than all of y'all. And I'm sitting, so Bishop Gibson felt some kind of way, and I was like, wow, really? So they going back and forth, and Dietrich had to jump in like, this is about y'all egos and pride, this y'all tripping. So then they still talking, and then they bring up, Bishop Jones bring up, he's gonna have Loretta, you know, coordinated or whatever, because that's her thing. And Bishop Gibson felt some kind of way. He kept saying, that's not your wife. So if that's the case, I could bring my wife. What he was getting at, I think, with this, and I might could be wrong, but what he was saying, I think, was, it's not going to be a good look of them being in a marriage. I mean, not in a marriage. You guys been up there, walking up there like, doing this event together, and walking up there like you guys are married, sends the wrong message. That's what I think he was saying. But, Bishop Jones got all of his feelings, so they going back and forth, and all that kind of stuff. And Bishop Rod is not here for Loretta being a part of that. And I can understand where he coming from. I can understand where both men coming from. But I'm with Pastor Ron. When it comes to stuff like that within the church, I'm so traditional. I got some of my modern ways when it comes to church, but with that, I'm really traditional. Like, that's not a good look. Then Dietrich and Pastor Jay talk at the end of the thing where everybody was leaving or whatever. And Pastor Jay just really wanted to express his feelings about feeling some kind of way about marrying them. Dietrich went on the defense because he was like, what that have to do with you? So he was like, my reputation is on the line and I just wish I would have knew. You know what I'm saying? Because there are steps to doing that. So Dietrich like, you being judgmental and da-da-da-da-da. And he's like, wait, you judging me right about now. So what's up with that? Like, and I felt Dietrich has got so much flack from social media and all kinds of party stuff from the church that whoever brings that conversation up, he's going to go on the defense and he's going to talk shit. So they didn't hash nothing out because Dietrich was like, did you have sex with Christy before you guys got married? And Jay was like, yeah. He was like, well then. But Jay was like, but I wasn't saved then. It's the difference. And I get what he was saying because as a minister or whatever, I get what he said. Like, I just wish I would have knew. And I think people fail to realize when you do stuff like that, give people a choice. Whether he would have did it or not, give him that choice. And I think that's where he was coming from. So Jay goes and talked to Christy about the whole situation and felt he never been talked to by another minister like that. And he felt some kind of way. So now she felt some kind of way. Now she feel like she can't go to Dominique Sip and see because of the husbands got into it. And she don't want to go walk into the lion's den and get ambushed or whatever. So then Loretta and Bishop Jones, they're sitting there talking, and he was like, I'll tell you what I've been through. So he tells her all about what Ron said. But he tells her, Ron said that he don't think single women should be participating in the ministry. And that's not what he said. Unless I didn't hear it or I got it wrong, that's not what he said. So now she feel like Levette is going to pay for what Ron said. And I'm like, that's childish as hell. That's not right. She wasn't there, so how does she get to pay for all the shit that's going on? So then we had Dominique sip and see. And, she telling Dietrich, before the sip and see, they getting ready. And Dominique tells Dietrich why Christy isn't coming or whatever, and he felt some kind of way, but Mama Faye and Dominique called him out on his shit like, you could have been wrong, because Dominique like, I know by having arguments with you how it can go. And Faye even said something to him too. So yeah, so he didn't want to hear that shit. You could tell he didn't want to hear that. So Maisha, before that, because I don't know how I missed it. Dominique and Faye and Mama Jay, they sat down there and they hashed out their differences like grown women. Faye told her how she felt. Mama Jay apologized for the way she did it, and they just gonna move on because they grown women. They not gangsters. It's no East Coast West Coast beef. Okay. So sip and see, everybody's starting to ride. Maisha comes first, then First Lady Lizette. And they're talking about the baby and how Dietrich was as a baby. Mama really wanted to say he was bad as hell because she kept saying, well, he wasn't a quiet baby. He was like Destiny. And we could saw Destiny was crying at the beginning, so we could tell. Badass kid, little actor, needed a whooping a couple of times. That's what she wanted to say. But okay. So then they start talking about Loretta don't have kids. So Dominique asked her to be the baby's godmom, which I thought was cool because First Lady Lizette seems like she would be a good influence on her daughter. Teach her the right ways, traditional ways to grow up like a young lady. And I can contest her. She is a good woman. How old was I? Probably about 18. No. Yeah, about 17, 18. I used to attend a church. So, and they were really, really good people. Really down-to-earth people. Pastor Ron and First Lady Lizette was really, really cool people. First Lady Lizette really was talking to the girls. Really, really cool lady. They just wasn't up there where you couldn't talk to your pastor or whatever. So I liked it them when we used to attend a church back in the day. So yeah, that was a good thing. Then they talked about the drama that happened with Pastor Jay and Dietrich and all that kind of stuff. And the vet kept saying, I can see where he's coming from. I can see where they're coming from. So Dominique, like, can you elaborate on that or whatever? And then she just explained. Then here comes down Loretta. And Loretta was on defense from the moment she fucking got there. Can't nobody tell me no different. But they were saying how they were talking about the drama, and she was like, oh yeah, I got filled in, Noah filled me in on it. And then she bring up Pastor Ron and how Pastor Ron felt about her. And even First Lady Yvette was like, I don't think that's the way he meant it or whatever. And Loretta just went on defense. You can't judge me. You can't speak for God. And you traditional, but no longer relevant. You don't have no perfect life. And you can have your opinion, but it might not be right. Or it don't have to be right. And I'm just like, she's so on the defense. And even First Lady Maisha was just like, can she have her opinion? You know what I'm saying? And that's when she was like, yeah, but she don't have to be right. And I'm just like, you are so on the defense. And they always say a hit dog will holler, because I'm telling y'all, she feels some kind of way. She, as a woman, you feel some kind of way to be in a relationship 16 years and don't know where your relationship stands. Okay, y'all boyfriend and girlfriend, engaged, something. But for you to just say, we still friends, is really no label on it, that's the problem. And just like it's the problem when, like Levette said, it's a problem when your man is up there preaching to people, in the church and telling them the right way to go, and you in a relationship with a woman 16 years and act like you ain't never hit and you ain't had no sex in 16 years, you a lie. Because I heard you had a baby with that Stacy girl. I heard you was linked to Lisa Wright. So you done had sex with somebody in them 16 years. And I'm quite sure he done had sex with Loretta too. I'm just saying. Like, come on. Let's just be fucking for real. He's smashing some damn body. And for him, even if he's smashing you and not give you a label, something's wrong with that. I really have a problem with that. And I couldn't go to a man's church that's sitting there telling me that sex before marriage is wrong or whatever, and then you behind closed doors is smashing Sister Loretta. Yeah, would have a big problem with that. Sorry for you. But that was all that really happened on the episode. Then they showed us what's gonna go on through the episode. Oh, I want to see the stuff with Pastor Cheney. I think that was his brother hit his mama. Woo! I think Jesus might come out of him a little bit, and somebody else might go in, because you don't hit nobody mama like that. I'm just saying. And a man? But I think they're going to work that out. But this season looks like it's going to be good, and I'm all here for it. Y'all tell me what y'all thought about this episode. We can agree to disagree, just don't be too disrespectful. Because some of us was raised traditional in the church. Some of us haven't been in church in a long time. Some of us is at a modern day church. So we all have different opinions on how things should be ran. But yeah, look like it's going to be a cool episode. Check out Might Be 801, and also Squeaky Jones usually do Preachers of LA, so check her out too. And Marcus Williams do Preachers of LA. So check us all out. Talk to us all. You can find me on every social media, Facebook, Google+, Instagram, Twitter, Xbox Live. I do everything by The Ghetto View, THA, not THE. Talk to me and I'll talk to you back. Alright, peace.